Hey, welcome back everyone. This is Uncle Frank, and I am not a financial advisor, nor is any of the content to be construed as financial advice. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. All right, we're going to start this episode by reviewing the black and white swans in the air that apply to our community, the apes. So, under the heading geopolitical, there's Russia, Ukraine, China, Taiwan, Israel, Hamas. Now, they could suddenly agree to go to the peace talks, right? That would be a white swan. But if Hezbollah and or Iran suddenly join the conflict, that could be a black swan, right? You see how that works? There's North Korea. They're always a handful. They could create a swan event. Then there's the 2024 election itself, which I believe could morph into a black or white swan. Now, under the heading systemic or financial, you've got the commercial real estate crisis. That hasn't gone away, and that leads to unrealized losses at the banks and the Fed. So what am I talking about here? What about when unrealized losses migrate over to realized losses on the balance sheet? That represents a big black swan for our banks. I see 282 U.S. banks currently at risk. Then there's the trend of de-dollarization and BRICS. We've got a $34 trillion U.S. debt spiral to think about. Ryan Cohen could make a surprise announcement about the future of GameStop. Maybe the stock will rally on that news. Maybe AMC will chase it up again. You never know. We could get another surprise Roaring Kitty post. But I believe Roaring Kitty and or Ryan Cohen have been warned to chill by the powers that be. So I don't have as much faith in this phenomenon as I have in the past, okay? Now, we could see the settlement of the SEC versus Ripple case any day now. There's the derivative tsunami out there. Elon Musk could debut the new peer-to-peer payment platform on X, formerly known as Twitter. We could see rate cuts from the Fed, or they could be delayed by inflationary news. We've got CPI and PPI this week. And then there's hidden hedgy over leverage, securities sold yet not purchased, potentially billions of unreconciled synthetic shares out there in multiple issues. If you have any swans you want me to add to the list, put them in the chat. All three major U.S. stock indexes ended the shortened 4th of July trading week higher as a cooling labor market increased hopes for Fed rate cuts. S&P and NASDAQ hit new all-time highs again. Markets are now pricing in an 80% chance of a September rate cut. Bitcoin fell below 55,000 in its worst week since 2021, and now the year-to-dates. We're starting off Monday with the S&P up 17.4% for the year. Dow up 4.4%. NASDAQ 24.3%. Russell 2000 0.7%. I've got Bitcoin currently at 57,134 and Ethereum currently trading 3,038. XRP at 0.438. Gold stands 23.9980. That's from Friday, up 15.8% for the year. Oil 83.44, up 16.4%. 10-year Treasury last 4.278%. Wow, look at that calendar. Welcome to Monday, July 8th. We've got consumer credit today, but it gets released late in the day, so probably no impact unless it's off the charts. Tuesday, July 9th, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Fed Chair Jay Powell testifies before the Senate. On Wednesday, July 10th, 10 a.m., wholesale inventories, and also Jay Powell will testify before the House. Then, 4:15 p.m., we've got a CAT event, industry testing checkpoint call, and industry member report card webinar. Then Thursday, July 11th, 7:11, 8:30 a.m., initial jobless claims and the Consumer Price Index. Friday, July 12th, 8:30 a.m., PPI, Producer Price Index. Problem: if either CPI or PPI come in hot, they can't pressure the Fed to cut rates at the July Fed meeting at the end of this month, July 29th. If it comes in cool, The pressure to cut rates is going to ramp up significantly. Also on Friday, right after PPI, you've got JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, and Citi's earnings dropping. It's also options expiration day. This is my time window. I'm praying for a swan to hit right in the middle of all of it. Okay? Then Monday, July 15th, Fed Chair Powell is scheduled to speak again. That's also an XRP date, 1-year anniversary of Judge Torres's decision. You've also got Goldman Sachs and BlackRock earnings. So busy Monday. Tuesday, July 16th, 8:30 a.m., U.S. retail sales. Thursday, the 18th, 8:30, initial jobless claims again. Monday and Tuesday, July 29th and 30th, is the FOMC meeting. And then Wednesday, July 31st, possible wrap date for the SEC versus Ripple case. The only thing I would add is Friday, July 26th, we get Deadpool Wolverine. I bring it up because I think it's going to be the biggest movie event of the year so far. I know a lot of you believe that fundamentals and technicals don't matter in a play like this, and to some degree you're correct. Speaking only for myself, I would rather, if the theaters were full as opposed to empty when a swan finally lands. I'm expecting 2Q earnings for AMC somewhere between August 8th and 13th. We are 72 days to the second day of the September Fed meeting on the 18th and 120 days to Election Day, November 5th. Short bets against NVIDIA stand at $34 billion, S3 Partners says. Let's hope for a rally today. Most of my subscribers know that BRICS is just an acronym for Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. The de-dollarization trend is more than just a black swan for the United States, in my opinion. If our nation loses world reserve currency status, it could quickly become a nation you will not recognize. There is literally nothing off the table at that point, in my opinion. It's far more than losing status on the world stage. It could mean less access to capital, higher borrowing costs, market volatility at levels you're not used to and have never seen. This is one black swan Uncle Frank does not want to see land, mostly because I have 4 kids. If you want to see the U.S. on its hands and knees, this can certainly put us there. But what I want to point out is the sheer stupidity and recklessness of the current administration for not using its influence to fight back. On your screen is U.S. foreign aid to other nations back in 2022. Of course, leading the list is Ukraine and Israel. But I would like to show you how many of these countries we support with millions and billions of dollars that are leaving or threatening to leave the United States dollar for BRICS. Afghanistan, $1.9 billion in support and has expressed interest in joining BRICS. Ethiopia, $1.7 billion. They already joined January 1st. Egypt, $1.4 billion. They also joined January 1st. Jordan, $1.1 billion, expressed an interest in joining in the spring of 2023. The South Sudan, $976 million, was at the BRICS summit and was quoted as saying BRICS may be their best option. Nigeria, $974 million, said they want to join the G20 and BRICS within 2 years. In February, they announced they plan to sell oil in their own currency and not the U.S. dollar. Well, maybe we don't send you another $974 million, right? Syria, $842 million. The finance minister announced in June of last year that Syria intends to join BRICS. Now, I know some of you hate former President Trump, but I want you to know he would never tolerate this, and he proved that by making NATO members kick in more money if they expect us to defend them against Russia. Only someone like the Bidens would continue to print money and hand it out all over the world, even to nations that are stabbing us in the back. Now, this de-dollarization trend might turn out great for Ripple XRP, you never know. But guys, we can't afford to be this stupid for much longer. Hey, I want to thank you for watching, and please remember to hit the like button after this slide if you enjoyed the presentation. Subscribe to the channel and set the alert so you're notified when I have new information to share. See you at the bell.